Alright, so I'm just making this video really quick to explain the Perilous Ascent van proxy. I know Snuggles already made a setup video for this, but I wanted to get this video into some more people's eyes in case you guys wanted to mess with it. I know a lot of people haven't seen Snuggles setup video, so that's the point of this video. But this first attempt is pretty much exactly what you'd want from the proxy. This is a perfect outcome. So this attempt is the same as before. The only thing I messed up here was my left analog stick movement getting up to the cliff. As you can see, I pull out and then I go back. I kind of bonk off the cliff and just barely miss it. My starting position actually got updated up there, so obviously I landed, but I slipped off somehow. So that can happen too. Another thing that can happen is you'll bonk off the cliff at the very top and you'll just get sent out into the void. As you can see here, I'm going to bonk and I'm not going to have enough speed to actually make it. If you bonk, you can still save it with the right angle, but it's really tough, so you want to make sure you pull out away from the cliff as much as you can before you land. So here's an example of a slow setup. So this one isn't going to give me any height, and the reason for this is because I took too long setting up the trick before the pause menu. So I'll explain it now. So the faster you get into this spot on the van, the better. So you'll notice I'm already holding left as Sly's coming out of the van, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this door, and as soon as I hit this door, I'm going to tap up just like that and immediately jump and press down on the d-pad to land on this rail, and then I'm going to tap up on the d-pad again to land in the spot and immediately pause the game when Sly's on the ground. The faster you do this part, the better, the more consistent it will be. If you take your time, it's not going to work. You have to do this part very quickly. And then once you have the pause menu up, the rest is very simple. I like to use this visual cue on the left side here. You can use one on the right as well, but I like to use these on the left because it's very easy to see. So I use this archway, and there's this like yellowish section right here, and they have like individual bricks. And I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bricks and then cut off the 7th one right on this line. As you can see, there's a line right here. Right where this archway starts is where you want to put your camera, the left side. And if you do this right, what you want to do is unpause the game and immediately hold up on the d-pad. Once you hold up on the d-pad, start holding down left on the analog stick. For whatever reason, your camera is flipped when you're getting launched up here, which makes it really weird to control, but you can still control it. Everything's just reversed basically. So hold down left on the analog stick until you get like all the way up next to the cliff. So about right here is when I'm going to flick up to up right on the analog stick. So I go from down left, to up right. As you can see, I'm going up right, and then I'm slowly going to rotate my analog stick from up right to up, and that's going to curve Sly to the left and get him right where you'd want him to be. So right here, I'm right above those circle super sneaky thief moves. So right here, I'm going to start spamming circle, and that's going to pretty much guarantee Sly lands on the outside. Every now and again, you'll get a ledge grab, but most of the time, if you spam circle, you'll land, and then from there, you can just continue on. And I want to take some time to show off what happens if you go too slow. So early in the video, I had an example of what happens if you go too slow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm holding left, and by now I should have already tapped up. And as you can see, I'm running forward here. This is completely wrong. Do not do this. Like I said, hold left and just tap forward as soon as you hit the van door. As you can see here, I held left for entirely too long. So as soon as you hit this door, I should have already tapped up on the d-pad, and you don't want to run forward, you just want to tap up. This is completely wrong. As you can see, Sly did a little bounce there, and I'm going to use the same angle, and as you can see, Sly just doesn't get any height. You get some, but not a lot. And this is a problem because the setup needs to be done very, very quickly. As you can see from this setup, I run left, immediately tap forward, jump, down, forward, pause, and this is perfect. You want to do that in the same exact way every single time. So as soon as Sly jumps out of the van, hold left, get to the door, let Sly rest for a second, tap up, let Sly rest for a second, jump, tap down on the d-pad to land on the rail, let Sly rest for a second, tap up, he'll fall into the spot and he shouldn't bounce, and as soon as you fall into the spot, you should pause the game. From the pause, everything else is very, very simple. Like I said, just use this visual cue on the left. As soon as you unpause the game, hold up on the d-pad, and then from here you can use your analog stick and try to adjust and land up top like I said before. That part is kind of scuffed. It's really hard with a reversed camera, but it shouldn't be too hard once you get the feel for it. Like I said, this trick is very, very feel-based. It's not there's not a specific setup that you can do to guarantee this every time. You just have to trust your instinct and make sure you're doing everything fast enough. If you do that, you should succeed almost every time.